whole show talking about this shit. Like, yo, is polygamy a realistic or beneficial relationship structure in modern society? What's your thoughts on that?
That's not real.
You don't think so?
It's
It ain't
not
real?
I feel like
it's real for the flesh, but it's not real. It's not. There's no stability in that. You know, we talk about we just moving from community to talking about. You know, this is just like there are standards when it comes to community. Do you get what I'm saying? You can't build a family with 2 men or 2 women in the home. You get what I'm saying? You barely could do it with a teenage daughter, you know, and a mother in the home, you know. So it's just like there has to be balance, you know. There needs to be balance. And I don't believe involving so much, you know, other people's spirits. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, too many cooks in the kitchen. I don't even like people standing over me when I'm cooking. So yeah, too many cooks in the kitchen.
What's your thoughts?
I just feel like whatever works for that relationship, because it's not a one size fits all. I'm not saying that I will be in a polyamorous relationship, but if it works for you, it works for you. It's almost like with marriage. Some people don't want it. Some women or men do, and they put in that work for it. So if you're putting in the work for your relationship, whether it's 2 men, 2 women, whatever your preference is, like, cool. But for me, if I was in that, it's just like, how do we show up for each other, I guess. Listen, I'm already about 22 people by myself. But I just feel like, I'm like, listen, I don't know if I'm gonna like you tomorrow, but I like you right now.
I don't know. I think like the original way that polygamy was supposed to be structured was supposed to be like to create self-sufficiency within a home, like within like the communal living. So it should be like, okay, let's say I'm a therapist. She's a doctor, he's a lawyer or something like that. We can, you know, pool money together and like create businesses and create like a
Purpose.
Yeah, a purpose and like not needing to go externally for anything. So we get to keep all our money and like, you know, build generational wealth and all this. But you want to get Barquisha from down the block, you know, and bring her in because you're trying to smash.
That's not going to end well.
You're trying to smash. Like, you know what I mean? I think now everybody popularized it just so they can have more sex.
Men
more
popularize
access
it with
to
I will agree with that.
You know what I'm saying?
I said now that I agree with.
I do agree. Ace, what's your thoughts? Because you are a
smiling.
Polygamous is.
Them wheels are
Am I
turning.
polygamous?
Yeah.
I mean,
If you have the option to be, you taking it. That's what it's given.
Yeah, sure. I mean, like she said, man, it's really supposed to be like a team. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody working together to create the goal is generational wealth. So as the economy is going down and the cost of living is going up, you know what I'm saying? It's harder for one person or 2 people to support a family and build generational wealth. So when you add that extra income, that's more money that could be saved. That's less stress on each person. You know what I mean? So it's easier for everybody to carry that part of the load. You know what I'm saying? So, but most men do look at it in a sexual aspect. But I mean, when you look at it as a whole, it's not a bad idea.
It can work.
And
do you
women,
think women like are emotionally like stable enough? Like I know some real emotionally stable women. Like, do you genuinely think like the longevity of it? Like, do you feel like this is like, I know you said purpose and like building and community.
No, it takes a very mature woman, I ain't gonna lie to you, to even accept another woman into a home.
So you think mature, not emotionally stable? Because those are two separate things.
I mean, that's part of being emotionally stable requires some maturity to it. You know what I'm saying? So I do think it takes a very mature woman to look at the bigger picture. And women always saying that men always cheating anyway. So I mean, you might want to look at that option. But at least you know. At least you know where
Right, but
it goes,
I don't know. I think the women do need to be emotionally stable, but I think the man
for sure.
has to be.
He has to lead.
He has to be something to be able to get me to agree to that. There's some sort of convincing that you need to have, and also emotional stability and intelligence, because a lot of men lack emotional intelligence to even have one relationship. Now we're talking about 2 women, 1 house, 2 periods every month, syncing up,
hopefully
emotions up to the roof. How are you gonna deal with that emotionally, Ace? To have two women.
How are you going to navigate this?
Like, I really want you to answer that. Like, what do you think it takes to be able to have that type of relationship?
Like I said, maturity. Very mature, and that's on every part. It can't just be.
I promise you, Ace is only thinking about sex. I know he is, bro.
I think you're right,
bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I do agree with you. It takes a special man and women in order to make it work long term, because y'all got to be on the same page.
You got to be equally
Yeah.
yoked.
I think you have to be intentional.
It can't be jealousy. You got to understand how women work, and you got balance. It takes a lot to do it. You know what I mean? But when it comes together, I think, you know what I mean, that's the way to go.
Oh my gosh.
Yo, can
Let
I
me know
work
how it works.
if both of the women are not like, if both of the women are not like bisexual, or they're not like attracted to
they
each
gotta
other,
be.
do we have to be attracted to each
So
other?
wait,
Hold on,
that's
wait.
not polygamy. That's like polyamory. It's two different things.
Oh.
Polyamory is like everybody's together.
Right.
Polygamy is like you have separate wives.
I mean, in the traditional sense, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not how it's working out here. Like back in the
So
day,
you want
Maybe.
back in the day, they used to have like separate houses for each wife, and I mean, that's not happening out here. unless you
Yeah,
Unless
it's
you live on them
unless you
country
unless you got it like that, then cool. But I mean, I do think that that is interesting. I ain't gonna lie.
Because if a female is not interested in another female, I don't see that working. Like, not even a little bit.
Let me ask you a question. You seem like you would be in a polygamous relationship.
Why are you pointing at me out?
Because you
I
was
agree
very
with him.
knowledgeable about this
Yeah.
motherfucker. Like, you know what
She
I'm
looked it
saying?
up.
Like, yeah, you looked
I'm
it
knowledgeable about a lot of things.
up. I see. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm asking you, would you ever entertain that?
I can, if it's the right man.
And do you like women?
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah.
There you go.
Not in the sense of like I would be in a relationship with a woman, but I could definitely be teammates. But it has to be a certain type of man, like I said earlier. First of all, financially stable, emotionally stable and intelligent. Also, you have to be a good planner. It's a lot of things that go into like, having such a relationship. And I think like women can be so explosive and so emotional about things, and you have to have that masculinity that's strong, that's firm, that can like regulate, because now the women might have issues. Then they might have issues with you. So now like it's like an extra layer of like relationships that is within a relationship. So you have to be something special for me to
that just sounds like a lot of energy.
It is. I think
it's definitely a stars aligning kind of thing. I ain't gonna lie. Like you really got to meet a special woman and then meet another special woman. Like for real.
That just sound rare as fuck. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I do think there does need to be more, information about like how that dynamic does ultimately, a successful dynamic, polygamous dynamic, should work, because now we know about it, but we don't have as much information. So people might be turned off about, I'm not sharing my man, or I'm not sharing my woman, because guys, we talk about polygamous shit all the time with guys. They love the idea of two women.
What about two men?
I think it's only this hard in America though. Like you go outside of America, this is happening. Like
You think it's a standard?
It's a cultural
happening
thing.
with them
I feel
knowing
like,
that, and like that's the question. Like,
if you go outside of America, like Africa or whatever, they have multiple wives already.
However,
They
can
wealthy.
sustain those households.
Yeah, for sure.
No one's going there with $1 and a dream. Let's be clear. So that's why it works. But I feel like one of my girlfriends, for example, a relationship structure like that works for her because she knows herself. She'll tell you go fuck somebody else. Straight like that.
Why would she tell you that?
Because she don't want to fuck you. Like, sex isn't really isn't her thing. I promise you.
You said sex not really her thing?
No, like when she wanted, she wanted. When she don't, she don't.
Oh, okay.
They used to have parties. This is what and she might leave, like, throw that ass back or whatever, and it just worked for the moment. But for her, she would be with another woman and her man. She just have to have this say on who this woman is because they need to deal with her personality. The bitch is nuts. But but she come with her own. Like, she's the epitome of she is the rich nigga, but so is her man. So you got two power heads, but she will be submissive and all of these things. She's like, listen, I want to cook and I want to do this. You can go do this, go get the kids. It's going to work.
Mm-hmm.
So they just never found a person that like meshed. So they just enjoy their little parties.
Okay.
But
we might have to tell her to pull up on the show.
Word.
when she back in the city, I got y'all.
Let me get to this next, because I was going to say I agree with pretty much everybody. I don't think a lot of men I don't think that a lot of men can handle that type of dynamic. Like, I'm be honest, I struggle with one woman, like, trying to manage, manage true emotions. Nah, it's a lot of work, like, you know what I'm saying? So, I think, but like I said, I think most men just think about it from a sexual aspect. They like the idea of having an option to have sex with two women, obviously. Men's sex drives normally tend to be higher than women's sex drives. So that's why it always looks like a plausible option to most men. But I don't think they take into the consideration all of the other aspects that go into that type of relationship. And I think once they realize that shit, or once they get into it, then they're like, nah, this is too much. Like, I ain't gonna do. Y'all both give me a headache at this point. Like, you know what I mean? So
I mean, I haven't heard negative reviews from these relationships though.
I've seen them. Trust.
They never lie.
So you have friends in these relationships?
I don't have a lot of I don't know a lot of people, but I do know one in particular that got two women that know about each other. And
they know about each other.
Yeah.
How long have they been together?
All three of them?
Yes.
Him and the first girl, they've been together, I believe, like 6 years before they brought the second woman in.
Okay.
And it's been 2 years now.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
So when they met,
Yeah.
was she on that, or did it transform into that because of something else? Because then we're talking about two different things.
Was she on like I want a girlfriend type?
Like when they originally met, was she like, oh, like, yeah, this is something I could do in the future? Or was it more so like it happened maybe because possibly, there was cheating and it was just like, well, shoot. You know what I'm saying? Because then it's like it turns from like, this is what I want to like settling.
What it was, I don't know if they thought about this in the beginning of the relationship, but he had a conversation with her, like, I guess, like midway. And
he got me at that point. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if that went fast. Do you get what I'm saying?
And she was very much on board, though, because she was like, what she's describing with her homegirl, like, she was open to that kind of thing already. So, she was on board with having another woman brought into a relationship, and they just met somebody that they both meshed with.
Okay.
And it's in 2 years. It happened over the pandemic, like, so they was together like all the time and shit. And just
the pandemic will do it. Like, if
you can survive
hitting the same way,
that's what I'm saying. If you can survive during the pandemic, you got it. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta put them PPP loans together. Like,
good reviews on this type of relationship. The reason I know is because I do know people that has tried it. Right. One of my friends actually, their relationship broke up because one of the girls wanted to be more with him and exclude the other girl on something.
Emotions.
And then like during like their birthdays, finances wasn't like in the right place. It was just like a lot going on. And they kind of like teamed up on him. And like that, they just broke up with him.
I just imagine like, and obviously I'm just talking about the sexual part. Like if I finish with one of the girls and not the other, is the other one gonna feel some type of way? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo,
what I'm
saying?
We forgot a major aspect of this.
What's that?
Can you sexually please more than one woman?
And financially, like,
yeah,
well, that was like the foundation of it. Because you can't have.
Can you get it back up to go again? Can you? That's a key component.
You asking me? I can.
They gonna pop that blue cheese.
Yes,
I can. But yeah, I can just see little stuff like that, especially with. That's why I say women are. Very emotional. Like, you know what I mean? So I can see that being an issue.
You might have to not finish it.
Yeah, you can't finish. Like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, pussy better than mine.
Good? All right.
You fucking it a little bit too hard. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, you eat a pussy a little too good, you eat my pussy. Like I can just see little shit just being, like, just annoying.
That's the maturity aspect of it. Like, you
sure.
can't just be petty. Like, I mean, you might have to take turns. Like, I finished this time.
It just sounds like
a lot.
Fatal.
It's a lot of confusion.
Right. I've watched a lot of those documentaries. And some of them really genuinely started off like someone was cool. I don't know if y'all watched it, but I did watch a lot of those growing up. And it started off cool. We cool. He kicking with her too much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, not too much.
So do y'all think that most relationships the man has the highest sex drive?
Yeah. Like I mean like not all the time, like you know what I'm saying, but yeah, like
80,
yeah, like
80,
I do
85.
believe men just have more of like I feel like there's women like, you know, that can, you know, couldn't go, but I do feel like men like they're like a little more eager.
Because on the prior show we had a talk about how outside pussies is easier to get than in-house pussy, right? Because we had married people talking about they ain't had sex in like
a lot of
8 months.
8 months.
Like,
Yeah,
Absolutely.
All right now.
So it's like women be not forcing, but putting the pressure to be in a relationship or a marriage, knowing they can't sexually keep up with that man. You know what I'm saying?
Wait. So first of all, the only reason some of y'all get married is to have access to like full-time pussy.
Live in, okay?
A lot of times.
Like,
a lot of times. All right. I'm not saying that's the only reason, but in your head, I'm getting a wife. I'm about to have pussy every day of the week. That's what you think. Like that's the thought you have. Like that's
but
my wife.
I'm not going to stop you, Kyra. But in the same breath, though, like if I want it when I want it, so if he wanted when he wanted it, it's fair game. However, I could agree. I could see the dynamic shifting when you first dealing or dating with somebody and when you're in a relationship, because now, say I'm pissed off at you, whether I wanted it or not, just to be a bitch, fuck you, you're not getting nothing. Like, I've done it. We all have done it.
It's now linked to the emotional aspect of it because
that's
with
what
women,
is the part.
Okay, I said what y'all are looking for, right? With us, we see you as somebody that's gonna provide certain things for us.
Right.
So you're gonna provide like that stability that I need emotionally. And I feel like when you guys tap out of that, we kind of like tap out of the sex. It's kind of like, you know, a give or take.
But it could be something as simple as he ain't take the trash out today. He ain't getting no pussy tonight. Like, what, like
okay,
don't touch me.
It's just back to like marrying someone that's like emotionally stable. You know what I'm saying? That's not gonna use sex against you, and a man that's not gonna use finances against you because y'all do that.
Man can't use finances because that's my house now. So if I don't pay the bills, we both out on the street. Like
we're not even paying the bills, but like the extra stuff.
Right now, you can't get your nails done now.
You know what I'm
right?
saying? Yeah. You know.